Alright, check this out. This is one of those Dollar Tree Jenga packs. I have an idea. Someone's probably done it before, but I don't watch enough YouTube to know if they have or not. I'm going to take 12 of these, if my math is correct. This one has some writing on it. I'm not going to use that one, so let me get a different one. I'm going to take 12 of these, and I'm going to make some quick and easy dungeon tiles with them. Just like that. Okay, wood tiles. I mean, you don't have to make wood, but it seems like wood would be a rational and easy choice. So, I'm going to divide these up into planks, and to do that, I'm just going to use a knife. Make some lines in them, and if the lines don't work, I'm just going to flip it over and use the other side, because sometimes the wood's softer than others in different spots. They're not made for this kind of stuff, so obviously you get different results on different pieces. And you can get different depths and different... And they don't have to be straight. You can be a little crooked and it'll be alright too. I didn't get a good... That one's got pretty sturdy. Try this side. Okay, that's a little better. Now we can do stone on the other side too, don't forget. But we're starting with the wood here. That's the goal. Oh! A little bit too much. Pow! Obviously, I'm keeping those. So, to prep these, first thing I do is I make my channels a little deeper by just dragging something through them, making them a little more noticeable. So I still have 12. Did I lose count somewhere? Okay, I got 12. Then what I do is I take these and I just get my little tool and I just scribe out some cartoony looking plank marks on each one quickly. Just simulate the planks when I paint them. The lighter the color of the wood, the softer it is. So when it's darker, you have to push a little harder and you get different results. But that's just going to create some variation that makes this a little bit more interesting of a craft the way I figure it. And hell, if it doesn't do anything for us, it doesn't do anything for us. And I'm not doing them all the same. And that's okay too. This one's pretty hard. I'm not getting a lot of good grooves in it. Okay, so you can take this another step further, and you can kind of do a little bit of whittling on some spots, just to give it some different, a little bit of look here and there. And it really just depends on how much effort you want to put into it, as to how fancy they look when you're done. Oh. Okay, so on the sides where you want them to glue together, so see how I have 2 on that one and 1 on these. All I'm doing, and it would probably be better to do this with Elmer's, but because I make all this stuff live and I don't have time for shit to dry, I'm going to do it with hot glue. Just like that. And that's just giving it a little channel for glue to push into to give it a little bit better of a bond. And if I was using Elmer's, I probably wouldn't even do that. Okay. This is already turned out exactly how I imagined it would. So we're going to do the top side as planks. And a giant fly of death came in here. And he is dive bombing the shit out of me. Of course he is. You know, Dollar Tree foam would make a good stone texture for the other side. I don't know if I have any that's in good shape, but I can look. Okay. Okay, and there's a really nice looking 2x2. It's probably about 4 inches if I was guessing. We can measure it. That Superfly is, oh, he's fucking enormous. Yeah, it's just under 4 inches. So it's a pretty good size for a floor tile. Put plenty of minis on there. You know, if you wanted to divide that up into grids, you could. I don't want to. So painting this would be easy. We'll just spray paint it black and then dry brush it down. Let's do the side in stone though. Let's find a way to do that. And let's find a way to do it so that it's kind of easy and looks okay. So I'm going to get a piece of this foam from the Dollar Tree right here. I'm just going to lay it on like that, flip it over and mush it down. I'm gonna get a knife, just kind of snip off the excess, just like that. Something like that. And again, Elmer's would be a better job for that than this was. And then I'm going to get a pen and a straight edge. And I'm going to kind of find my middle. I'm going to divide it again. I'm just eyeballing these. That doesn't even look like the middle. I don't know how well that's going to hold up. I might lose that line in translation. I can feel it though, so it must be there. And since I'm not using this as grids, I'm not worried about how perfect it is. Now you could stop right there and get a piece of tin foil and texture this a little bit. It doesn't hold a lot of texture, mind you, because it's, you know, it's like that real thin foam. But see how you can definitely put some texture on it if you wanted to. Okay, but what I want to do is I want to make mine a little more interesting. So I'm just going to add some shapes. And you can just do it however you feel comfortable to make it, or you can leave it how I had it. That works too. But I just want it to be a little more interesting than it was originally. Now I'm kind of regretting this because it's making it take forever. Let's hurry this up. And we just make these into little block-like structures. Can I still film my 3D bumps? Yep. The 3D bumps are the most important part. Something like that, okay? Then I'm going to spray paint both sides of it. I'm going to do one side at a time for simplicity reasons. Let me get my sleeve. I'm going to start with the wood side. Just like that. Hot air gun. Pizza card. Beard. Crappy brush. Dark brown paint. Where's my dark brown paint? There it is. Not where it should be. Let me get my brush stamp. Get more water. Get my brush stamp. Okay, throw that water in there, or brush in the water. Hot air gun it. Piece of cardboard. Softer kind of brush. A more medium or brown paint. If I have one. Thought I had one sitting here. There it is. That brush sucks. Getting this one because I like it better. And I want to get in here and pick up some of that wood grain. I need to do it again. Okay, something like that. Then I'm going to dry it off a little bit. I'm going to get a lighter color. I'm using a khaki. Oh, I used way too much. Son of a damn it. Let's hit this with an air gun. And I have this khaki color here. And I just mixed it in with that, so it's probably a little bit light. So I'm going to get some of that brown and just bring it up one notch in tone. I'm going to get all that I can off my brush. I'm going to do a shitty job of dry brushing because I didn't get as much out of my brush as I wanted. Okay. I want to come across and try to get some texture if I can. Now, if this is going to be a modern tavern or bar, you don't want to make this terrible. You want to make it nice. But for me, it's not what it's going to be. It's going to be a crusty old shitty place. I'm going to get that light color again. And I'm going to really try to get it all evenly distributed in my brush and get most of it out of my brush. Better than I did before. I'm going to come over one more time and just hit some spots. Okay, now I'm going to get a gray. This is called country gray. It's a little bit wet, so I'm a little concerned. Okay, I'm going to mix in with that tan. Then I'm going to fight to get it out of my brush the best I can. Something like that. I'm done with that brush. I'm setting that off to the side. I'm going to use this. I'm going to get a color I use a lot for my grime and shit. This is called English Ivy Green. I'm going to get that, and it's pretty wet. And I'm just using a bigger, thin brush. Something cheapy. Getting it wet. Mixing that in. And then I'm going to find spots where my wood's a little rough. And dab it around unevenly. And it's going to simulate the patchy and moldy and mossy and all that jive. Okay. I think this is going to be a decent looking craft. And you're not going to be making one of these at a time. You're probably going to be making a set. I don't have a set of these, obviously. I just came up with the idea when I got down here. I was like, what am I going to make? I was asking Lady Doom what I should make, and she didn't know. And she's like, what are we doing in our game right now? Like, you're the one playing it. I just make shit up as we go. Okay. And the thinner you make this, just like any other time I use it, the less of a pronounced, you know what I mean? So if you want it to be a little thicker and a little darker green, you just add a little bit more of the paint and a little bit less water. Something like that. Okay, so now we have to worry about this side with the foam, the stonework. Our wood's looking pretty good. Let's deal with this. In our cracks. It's looking pretty good. We're going to get that cheapy brush we were using earlier. I'm going to get my favorite color in the entire world, pavement. It's wet, and I'm trying to drive it down to those cracks a little bit, just like that. Okay. Sweet. Getting a lighter gray. Maybe. Kind of a big soft tip brush. Oh, that is fucking damp. All right. Something like that. I'm going to come back with something lighter. It's called Elephant. Okay. And you could even go a shade lighter than that if you wanted to. But if you do, I would recommend using a sponge, which I can never fucking find one. I buy them, and I think the little guys like painting with them, and they just take them. Let me see what I got. No, they took all the sponges. They paint train with sponges like nonstop. So let's come back and get that green color we had, because I don't want to lighten this up again without a sponge. Well, let me think. These aren't the sponges I prefer, but I'm wondering, these have like some kind of weird dampness to them. I'm wondering if I mix some brown and gray together, dab it around a little bit like that, and get a t-shirt. Do something like that. That looks okay. That'll work. Okay, now I want to get that brush I had that was wet. I want to get some of this green and reactivate that, and I want to come into some of these cracks here and let it run in, just like I'm doing there. And we'll make this side old and crusty too. Okay. Just finding the spots where I think you can use it and ignoring the rest. Get more water, thinning it out a little bit in some spots where I don't want it to be as prevalent. Something like that. Cool. hey, then you want to paint your sides black. Any paint will do the job on that, I'm sure. This is some crappy Dollar Tree black. Got it right up on the damn side like a dummy. Be alright. Oh well, that just lives there now. I'm not sure pretty pleased with that. Air dry and clear coat. Now I can imagine doing this with Lady Doom and making this like a fun kind of stupid thing we do together for the evening. I know some of you guys don't craft with a significant other, and I usually don't, honestly. But anytime I have a project like this and I feel it's like going to get monotonous, I go, "Oh, babe, oh man, I need a helper." A little bit of clear coat on top. A little clear coat on the bottom ski. It's a good time to hit the, the sides. My mat's popped up from the heat. So then you get your minis on there. Something like that. Get a giant on there. Anyways. There you go. Pretty easy to do that. Watch you don't get garbage on it. And like I said, if you do the Elmer's glue, you're going to get a better, sturdier product. Plus, you're not going to have the pop-up. Like I have some pop-up here where I lost some texture because the heat pulled it up. But if you have the Elmer's, it'll hold all that down instead of me just making some, you know, stuff in there. Not a bad-looking little tile. Easy to make. If you're bulk making these, I don't think it would be too much work. So, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment. All this stuff that helps the channel grow. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.